Greetings everyone, my name is Adderville, and welcome back to my Let's Play of Mega Man Maker. In this weekly morning live stream, I'll be covering a combination of both Weirspin levels and other levels I find online, primarily focusing on the former for the next 90 minutes to 2 hours. And then after that for this stream, I'll be sampling / covering the demo of INARI, a 2D action game that's currently in development by 1-Bit Studio, or 1HP Studio. And after all that's done, I'll showcase the art posted on the Discord server. So welcome to stream Sunflora, Jedok, Raccoon, Popcorn Master 4567, Jaden, Lapadio, 7852, and Mike Gaming 954, as well as all the other lurkers and watchers whose names I've forgotten. Nice to see you back after my impromptu vacation. This is not the full 1 month vacation that's oncoming, but due to a sudden real-life occurrence, say it that way. I'll be covering Inari's demo in about 90 minutes to 100 minutes, Jaden. I'll make sure to ping you on Discord, just to be sure. Challenging, but doable. I won't elaborate. So first on today's lineup is Joe's Factory, or Joe Factory, by Jedok74, 57 plays and a score of 32. There's a few more less tries and things I do want to sample or cover before I do my full 1 month vacation in February. Nah. I don't want easy mode. If only it was more like that that Fortress stage from Minus Infinity. That'd be really cool. Some tight, close quarters combat. Your level is second up, don't worry. Yeah, in relation to Mega Man news, Capcom has narrowed down the number of selections for the first round of the Roadmaster Design Contest down to 20 finalists. Most of the designs look pretty cool. Sure, go right ahead. What, man? Probably not because of the whole rule set. Or due to the restrictions of what Capcom was expecting out of that design. They're all gonna be valve or pipe or vacuum based. That's a smart way of using a different Joe, the Joe skins, without using completely different Joes themselves. Unfortunately, we don't have the same number of Joes as we did back in Minus Infinity or similar, so it's gonna be more limited. Ah, okay. So I have to use something like this. Hey, Joe. Hiding behind the column, eh? Bet Joe's. Goodbye. Playing it nice and slow to start things out. So in general, how's the weekend gaming been, everybody? I think it's been pretty fair. I've noted down a few additions to my huge list of games I wish to cover on the channel, with some new entries, especially on the Metroidvania front. That's fair, Jadok. But I love having fire support. Oh, that was such a freebie. I thought it was more of a trap, but it isn't. Okay, that's not gonna work. Then he gets slashed in half. As well as you. I don't know if... I have to see more into Code Vein. I actually own the first... I actually own the original Code Vein, but I haven't played it yet. I wanted to save that until after I beat some more Souls-likes first. I don't want your powdered donuts. You have that, so might as well. Round 2. Oh no. Yes! Found your weakness. You're welcome as well, Sylv. I think you're a bit... No, for this one it was just kind of a rompy stage, and I think it should involve the Joes more, but there may be more conveyor belts, crushers, what have you. But otherwise it was just an enjoyable romp, I guess. Okay, Chad, I think what Jaden's saying is that you stepped a little bit over the line there with the joke. I get what you were saying, and sometimes I get what you're saying, but it may have crossed a bit of a line here, especially with your previous behavior, so watch it a bit. Second up is Mecha Viridian Forest by Sunflower Azumarill. 10 plays and a score of 2. You already had plenty of other better introductions. You don't have to be that self-deprecatory. Anyways, you know the rules. This is roll time. No, not the dodge roll. I'm bigging out. I'm not gonna repeat my whole rant about the dodge roll. Excuse me? No charge broom? Okay. Oh shoot, it was a mistake. I like the idea of the dodge roll, but the problem is it overrides being able to infinitely, or rather repeatedly slide/roll, which for most stages is just a straight downgrade. Especially compared to her brothers. Now, if the dodge roll just stacked on top of the regular rolling, I'd be fine. And that's what they should have done. Imagine, let's say, if you're playing as base, imagine if you're playing as base, where after you got the double jump, it made it so that your dashing was less powerful. Viridian Forest, is this the one from Pokemon Red and Blue and Yellow? Welcome to stream, Welcome to stream, Tailmaniac. Oops, I fell for it. Sure thing, I'll cover it for after this one. Ooh, no checkpoint after getting rolled. Okay. So it's like Mega Green Hill Zone. That's for some pretty high praise. Bye. Ah, I see. I didn't even notice that was actually falling. Now, let's go. And hopefully we don't get crushed. Okay, we don't need to backtrack. Thank goodness. We have a portal here to fix that. Roll easy mode. Roll moding. Ah, checkpoint is here, of course. Not surprised. And want my bird. Spike balls up there are what are nerfing me. What's in here? Magnet missile. Shortcut. What's down here? Way I came from. What's to the left then? Nothing! Hi Zeros, welcome. So here's the plan for this weekend. Right now I'm covering Mega Man Maker Veersmith levels. After this I'm going to be covering or sampling the level of INARI. And tomorrow morning I'll be doing a full playthrough of the game, or rather the fan game, Mega Man Relay. I could have, if I wasn't out last week I would have covered it then, but it looks really cool and hey, from my perspective it came out of the blue. A fully featured Mega Man Classic fan game that takes about 3 hours to beat? Sign me up. And it shares a lot of the folks, and most of the people who worked on this game also participated or worked on Magmo. It is basically like the Pit of Pits, except extended, more into an endless format. I mean, the way I have heard the way I understood this, it's like it's a cross between the Neo Pit of Pits collaboration with Mega Man Endless mode, or another way, Mega Man Endless, except with much better balancing. As funny as that would be, no. Hey, in regards to, best duty hack and slash combat, every hidden combo in the arsenal has their own respective uses and advantages, make it fun to use. There's one or two ones that beat out the rest, hopefully not by much. I don't mind if some abilities end up being better than the rest of them, as long as the rest of the abilities aren't just extremely outclassed or very outclassed. If they're just if those one or two abilities are just minorly better, I'm fine. I've seen that as well, Sylv. I don't know what's happening. Also, be careful not to get crushed. I think we broke this challenge somehow. Oops. Yeah, like just yesterday I noticed 2 or 3 people who never played Mega Man before trying out Mega Man X. I'm wondering if it's actually a push from Capcom. I'm wondering if it's actually a push by Capcom before Mega Man 12 releases to draw up more support. And heck, I'm all for it. In compared to Jock's level, this is a lot more interesting with its challenges. It's actually forcing me to go through them more carefully, or pay attention to what's happening. Oh, I'm not dealing with you this way, this is gonna be crazy. Oh my goodness. Thanks for staying up there. Roger that. I'm probably gonna play Ragebound before I'm probably gonna play Ragebound before Art of Vengeance. I'm probably gonna play Ninja Gaiden Ragebound before Art of Vengeance, but it'll be nice to compare the two. I should also actually play at least 1 or 2 Ninja Gaiden. Actually, I should actually beat a Ninja Gaiden game on stream. Whether it be the original or the fan remake. That fixes a lot of things. Well, that's nice to hear. We have good level design. Oh no, no. I gotcha. Take that. Gotta love being able to temporarily stop time. Oh. Boing. That was a little bit random at the end, especially with all those platforms, but I'll take it. Mega number 9. That sounds interesting. Perhaps it's made by an alumni from the Mega Man fan gaming scene. I'm just jesting. It was on deep discount a few days ago or a few weeks ago and still not interested. As funny as that would be. One of the only few use cases where dodge roll would actually come in handy. Kinda sad, isn't it? LOL. Even deletes the shields as he's trying to create them. Another use case of where I really wish I could actually change the order of these special weapons. Because that would be funny. No, I'm not losing to Cutman like this. Bye. Visible lava? Alright. We managed to secure the Mega Viridian Forest. Next step, demechanizing it. Hello, Ixie Black. Welcome. Yeah, definitely more enjoyable in Joe Factory. Whereas Joe Factory was a rompy stage, but forgettable. This one actually has challenges that build up on each other and are notable because I have to pay attention to them. I keep pointing out having to pay attention to challenges in the sense of I can't just bum rush or ignore most of the challenges with or without special weapons. Here, the core baseline of the stage requires me to actually engage with those elements in order to persevere. I don't mind stages that don't require you to do that, but I tend to prefer those that do. And I understand being able to... And I'm willing to offer some leeway for being able to break certain gimmicks or skip them by using special weapons. Number 3 up is Super Roll Bros World 5 by Tail Maniac. Free to play is in a score 12. It's not as complex as Ragebound, but it gets the job done. That's fair. What? Whoa, okay. Once again, there are many classic games that I haven't even played that I really should at least sample on the channel. Well, at least it's not another recreation of 1-1. Give me in. Bonus. And I'm gonna have to compile a list for the quote-unquote classics and actual classics and everything in between. Then I probably should cover on the channel eventually. I know I'm doing one for boomer shooters / retro FPSs. Probably should do the same for action platformers. I already have a sort of there are a bunch of Metroidvanias I want to play that I have written down in that document. Into the water I travel. As I was saying, there are a bunch of Metroidvanias which I have written on my document, but it's not quite the same as my boomer shooter section where I'm trying to trace the route of Metroidvanias. Like, for sure, I played the original Metroid 1 with a graphical overhaul pack, and that's the earliest Metroidvania I can think of in terms of release date. Like, eventually I am going to play Super Metroid on the channel, and probably Metroid 2 because of the 2 remakes. Like, I am curious to see because I also want to see the Prime series, but before I even go into Prime, I probably really should do Super Metroid first. Hi Salty, thanks for the cameo. Well, if they were trying to recreate DOS, maybe. Up in the skies. He's only basically a temp mod on the YouTube chat, but in the server he's stepped down already, Jaden. He's basically just an assistant right now. Well, welcome to the castle stage. Mario indeed. Wow, another good use case for dodge roll. Or decent use case, I guess. Remarkable. Mario! Do the Mario! Yeah, unfortunately the other people are busy. In regards to the... oh, yeah. Funny way. In regards to the modding, well, unfortunately the other mods are busy or preoccupied with other things, and there isn't really any other good users I could nominate. Swing your arms from side to side. I'm just gonna, that's all I'll say for that. Okay, next up is one of the Lapadios levels, but before I do that, I'm gonna grab a regular stage. Well, I say regular, I mean a stage that's on the most popular queue. Yeah, his IQ looped around. Ooh, Twilight Requiem. That looks neat. Mute. Oh, it's three... Wait a second, I recognize that UI. And kind of those enemy designs. Well, not the enemy designs, but, how should I say it? Some commonalities. Yeah, you need to ping J Butters on that. I'm pinging J Butters. You may wanna... To Sunflower Zumaril, you may wanna ask... Toxin G about that. Oh, Red One? Yeah, they're still working on various things. I see them active on, that name of that server. They're still active, for example, in Xeno's domain. One moment. Back. Hey, Silent. I don't really have that many levels in the queue, so feel free to submit something. What were you saying? Pile driver doesn't work when you have spike guard. Pile driver doesn't work when you have spike guard and you pile drive into the spikes, which upsets you. Let actual imagination generate some stages. Sadly, most of these levels needs more than imagination. Although I wonder... Although by this point, it feels like many of the imaginations have gone kind of stale. The best 2D hack and slash you ever played, that is very interesting. Ninja Gaiden Ragebound is more of an action platformer where sure, combat is important, but there's also an even blend or rather, it feels like an even more important aspect is the platforming. Whereas, from my understanding, Art of Vengeance is much more in combat. Platforming is important there too, but the scale is balanced more that way, so to speak. I hope I'm making myself understood. What I'm saying is, to rephrase it, Ragebound, combat is important, but there's a heavy focus on platforming. Art of Vengeance, platforming is important, but combat's a greater focus. Well, Sylph did send a level. I don't think it's gonna be that good, but I'm covering it anyways. Board up is Mega Man Adapter, Wily Airship 2 scaled the ship outside by Mega Noob 678. Ready to play, score of 11. Yeah, I have a little bit of a bad... Mega Man climbs down to oblivion. Let's try it again, shall we? Yeah, I have a kind of a similar bad habit in the channel of starting games but not completing them. I'm not talking about stuff like Doom Crawl or Demon School where it was more initially a sampler, and so it's fine. I'm more talking about the situation of, like, various other games. For example, Starvaders, which I do need to get back to, especially as I added the true ending. I mean, there's also the whole story where I accidentally purchased a game bundle by mistake. So now I have Metal Slug Tactics. Thank you, Silent. Bowie's sitting on a chair, and this is their table. Ship. When I first did the Let's Try of Metal Slug Tactics, one thing really didn't it didn't hit me until after I did the whole stream that I wasn't playing the game properly. I was playing it the usual way I play most tactics games, very cautiously, slowly inching forward unless I had a clear path forwards. Okay, maybe not inching, but being a lot more cautious with my positioning until I got a good 8 lead, but that's not how you're supposed to play that game. Let's try it again, shall we? But that's not at all how you're supposed to play that game. It is basically a run-and-gun shooter adapted into a turn-based strategy. What I mean by this is that in order to increase your defense/dodge rating in that game, you have to move often. You can't just slowly inch forwards, you have to push forwards so you take less damage, otherwise you will lose. And it didn't actually hit me. Oh yeah, the tutorial taught me about that, but I thought it was more conditional. Like, I thought that meant that my base defenses were fine enough, and just by rushing forward to get some extra bits of insurance. No, that's not how it works. Oh boy. Punch. Wildermid is a bit different, Jaden. It also depends on your character builds and what you focus on. Like, sure, it doesn't want... With Wildermid, sure, it doesn't want you to just overly extend battles, as that can negatively impact you on the world map and overall progression. You can still cautiously edge forwards outside maybe the harder difficulties and not receive too much penalties. It's only if you just lock down and fully turtle where it becomes an issue. Whereas comparing it to something like Metal Slug Tactics, you really have to push forwards in order to get the best effect. Wildermid, unless you're going for a specific build, that's not mandatory. Like, with Wildermid, it's an interesting thing because it doesn't want you to turtle too much. At the same time, it doesn't want you to rush too much. Whereas with Tactics, it feels like it really wants you to keep pushing aggressively or keep moving. With Wildermid, it's a balancing act. And the key thing is that it also depends on the battlefield. It also depends on your party setup, the battlefield, and what enemy faction or factions you're fighting. Different factions have different strategies, and that's why I like how there's 4 or 5 different campaigns focusing, 4 or 5 different alternate campaigns focusing on each of the factions. Well, and the secret one, but we'll get to that. Okay, so this stage was, it existed. I want to pick someone from a lesser known author here. Just for funnies. Ooh. Fifth up is 495 Keys for Fireman by player 77, 42 plays and a score of 23. Do I think this will be good? Probably not, but... Oh. Oh. Ah, okay, okay. I thought that was gonna immediately turn back on the lava. No, it just raises and lowers it. Thank goodness. That is neat. It's basically like coins here. And that's all the 9s. Thank you, Popcorn. I'll cover it after this. Learn to love the noise. That's another set of 99. Counting up the keys exactly. I know this is more of a joke stage, and I don't mind their existence. At least to try and do a little bit of a more novel joke, even though it is basic. If only the level design was better. Or more thoughtful, I guess. I'm coming for you, Eddie. Hold still. Not a good stage, rather basic, but hey, novel. The novelty helps. Now the whole area is iced over. GG, Mega Man. I can even see one Dr. Light up there. Amongst Iceman audience. Okay, Popcorn. Sixth up is The Rough Cave by Popcorn Master 42. 81 plays, score 49. Okay, go ahead with Time Snatcher handy. I want to make something clear, not to you, but to everyone else watching. Because of the number of, especially of action roguelikes I want to cover, I probably won't be able to get the Time Snatcher handy unless A, I receive a key, B, someone gives a copy, or C, it's really interesting to me. because I have at least what feels like 60 different action roguelikes or roguelites I want to cover. Not even counting the other hybrids. And I'm not just counting like the big ones like Nuclear Throne or Enter the Gungeon or Hades, but other things too. Not yet, Jaden. And if you wanted to give me it, can you at least wait for a sale? Like, I wouldn't be able to cover it now anyways, so why pay more for it? Like, I'll be able to fully formulate what I'll be doing this year during March. After all, I do want to do Mega May. I decided Mega March would be a little bit too hectic, especially with the end of the Steam Next Fest. So Mega May is a lot better for that. Oh yeah, as a refresher, during my proposal is for May, after hinting about it for several years now, I'll be doing a marathon of the Mega Man Classic games, numbered that is. 1 through 11, also including base. I already covered the Mega Man World games, so I'm not redoing them. And base 2 probably in its own time. Their biggest... I don't know if they're their biggest, but sure. Oh, perfect. Whenever someone says that this is X Games' biggest influencer, I always question that. Especially in this indie climate. Like, there are big influencers, sure, but biggest is, it's just a personal thing. Too many people exaggerate the influence of particular influencers on a certain piece of media. But going back to Sylveon's point I made about an hour ago, it feels, there is a point to see about... I have also been noticing a lot of newcomers coming into Mega Man. I'm talking like from a fresh perspective, especially VTubers. So I think there's a coordinated push from Capcom. Also, please, X9. I don't have to keep waiting for... I don't have to keep waiting for X Corrupted. I don't know if that's going to be a good game, but it's going to be an interesting one to talk about. And when it releases, I'll drop everything to cover it. There was that fan game development still, but I don't know what its current status is. I think it's Mega Man CL? I have to check. E for everybody. Bye. Farewell. Oh, if you want, Mike. I have space. Cave was rough indeed. Still, Sunflora reigned supreme this week. Time's your currency in Time Snatcher. Time is your health, your currency, and the main resource for stopping time. Once you're out of it, you're dead. Time's health, time's money. So many staged by Jedi 74. Let me try this. Seventh up is Pico Pico Kun Fortress by Rock'n'Roll 555, 64 plays in a score 33. And yes, if you're not aware, I'm delaying. Mega Man 2 weapons. I think it was fine, but I seen more interesting things. See Sunflora. It's certainly less rompy than Jetox. Enjoy your bubble bath. Okay, that's weird. What was the point of that screen? I get this one because of checkpoint room, but that... Hey, Eddie. Thanks. I was half expecting there to be a wall of spikes. And I was gonna get trolled. Oh my goodness, that would have been bad. How do I avoid the crystals? Oh yeah, 0-0. Oh hi, Pico Pico. Well, it had to be you. Atomic Fire then? I forget what Pico Pico Kun's weakness was. I don't have sliding for the stage, Raccoon. That's the problem. Metal Blade. Okay, I'll try it on next cycle. Yeah. Pico Pico Kun was a more interesting fight. This would also have been more interesting if there's more variation in the patterns, but the engine doesn't really allow that, so you have to be clever with the level design, I guess. I don't know, this was a pretty bland Mega Man 2 Fortress. It kind of felt worse than the OG Mega Man 2 Fortress. It was empty, and with some strange level design positions. So yeah, no. I'm sorry, but it's in the... Sorry to sound a bit harsh here, but I was gonna say I don't get why the stage exists, but I know why. Okay, one moment and then the patio stage. Alright, I'm back. Just like Art of Vengeance, boss fights are the highlight. Interesting attack patterns, gimmicks that always keep the player on toes. It's like a combination of puzzle bosses and a straight-up duel. Curious, most games tend to separate them. Alright, let's do this. I thought I was done with Supernatural 4, but actually I wasn't. So 8 up is Mega Man in the Supernatural 4 Wily Haunted Castle 1 by the Patio, 52 plays, and a score of 27. Yeah, I was foolish to believe that by beating the bonus stage, I actually beat the pack. Of course, I'm doing this with base, because I want double jump. And I do have the bonus weapon too, so grab it. Ah, that's interesting. We're entering the fortress on the right side and traveling to the left. In most Mega Man related media, it's from left to right. Or bottom to top. And we begin already in the fortress. Like, there's an approach, sure, but it's like we already entered the building. Like, base's dashing does come in handy, quite in handy in fact. But what I really want is the double jump. Oh gosh. Oh. Oh no, my goodness. Okay, that was close. Thank you, Beat. Thank you, Treble Chaser. That's not how I intended that to work out, but it worked. Watch as I hit every absolute enemy here. Oh man, the timing on this. If I wasn't playing as base, this would be a pain. Ow. I guess I left the front door open. Presentation! I can see why the patio said this is much easier with base. This is still doable with the other tree, but some of these jumps, man. Up. Ah, okay. Crushed instead. With a double jump they're fine, but without them, tricky. I always think these are supposed to be solid just on the top, but no, both ways. I gotcha. In case I went the wrong way, or I wanted that. There's no kill like overkill. Can't reach me. Oh, thank you, Beat. Didn't want to fall into the didn't want to get crushed again. There may be one more holiday update, but I think we're reaching the Swan Song days. Well, we're already in the Swan Song days of Maker. What I was saying is, I feel like we're reaching the end days of Maker in terms of updates. Soon we're going to be entering maintenance mode. I just wonder how long the servers will be left open though. Without them, it's gonna really kill the game's momentum. Or what momentum remains of it. Like, one of the things that's really kept it alive is how easy it is to make and share levels. If you got the ladder point, oof. And most people are not gonna take the risk of just downloading the MMLV files from unknown sources. I know I wouldn't. Especially from new If you're from more established creators, it's one thing. But newbie players, oof. They're gonna be kind of screwed over. Oh, there are many things left to add, Selv. The problem is, do the devs have enough time, money, and interest to actually do that? After all, they are working pretty much for free. Ow, my foot. Whoops. Yeah, money. The game itself may not be making any money, but the devs need some money in order to survive. What I'm trying to say is, of course, they need spare time to work in the game, but they also need spare money because they need to survive and get food, shelter, housing, etc. That's what I'm implying there. And then, of course, there's the interest. Like, no matter what happens, I'm overall happy with Maker. I'm overall happy with what Maker has done for the community. Like, even if we were to shut down next month, I still consider it to be a great success. Do I believe there will be a Maker 2 sometime in the future? Perhaps. Maybe involving many of the same development team too. But it's probably going to use Megamix or a custom engine, and I'm not sure how they're going to handle the server front. Or they're just going to rely directly on... Or they're just going to rely exclusively on people just downloading. Yeep! That was scary. My reward is more ease. Sure? Yeah, thought so. Darn it. I would like at least a several month advance warning though. So we could all download the remaining levels. What's left anyway. One. Oh, right. Okay, my life's a bit easier now. No. Yeah. If it wasn't that, it had to be this. Green Monster has been defeated. I was looking back into that. They didn't say it sucked. I was looking back at the history. They didn't say it sucked. They just said from the shmups community side, they didn't like the patterns and what have you and how the game was designed. There's a distinction between that, Jaden. And honestly, I don't think most action roguelikes are gonna appeal to the more hardcore or core size of shmup players. They're fundamentally different design philosophies and preferences. Anyways, yeah, this was a lot easier than I expected, much of which thanks to base. Hardest part was the last section, the climax, which, considering that this is a La Patio stage, is surprising, considering that for most of the stages there are issues with the difficulty curve. And that's perfectly fine, Jaden. Remember, different communities have different preferences, and that's perfectly good. That's perfectly fine and dandy. True, the main important thing for keeping this game alive in some fashion, at least with its current player base, is keeping the servers up. And Metal Slug isn't even the type, and Metal Slug isn't really a shmup either. That's a running gun shooter. When I talk about shmups, I'm usually referring to things like the horizontal and vertical shooters, like Gradius, or Ikaruga, etc. Like, I would advise leaving your reviews on my server, as well as that server. Feel free to share. It doesn't hurt. So let's try one or two more stages, and then I'll end this off and move on to INARI's demo. As much as I like covering Maker, we're kind of reaching the twilight years where there's fewer and fewer viewers who are sharing their stages. And as you know, most of the best stages are viewer submitted or don't have that many views. Maybe in yesteryears. Ninth up is We're Sorry, but Rounder 2 couldn't be with us today by HH Goblin, 45 plays, score of 19. Again, I highly advise you share. I strongly recommend sharing them over to other servers like Team Almanac. So that was the quick. Okay, so that was just the fortress boss. Go off topic, it's fine. I could do this faster. There we go. Hi, Buster. What happened? Okay, this save simply existed. Is it serious, silly, or in between? When I say post on a server, I mean my server, as well as the Team Almanac server. Jaden. Like, I know, for example, a few other people do. Oof. Schoolwork piling up like that. Eesh, I can relate to that. You don't need to attend the stream, just rest up. Recoup enough energy, and power through as much work as possible. But yeah, not being able to sleep for 2 days appropriately, that really just makes it worse and piles upon itself. But you already know that. You posted your quick thoughts, but your more detailed thoughts, like you did in the chat. The 10th tab is Viperman Stage Spiny Desert by Contonio, or Contonio, 81 plays, score 29. I've done that before, Sylv. Don't recommend. I cannot recommend that. At least I didn't start hallucinating things. That would've been bad. Overdrive Ostrich? This is the first time I've heard a stage actually use this team, even though it's been added for a few months now. I just grabbed these weapons just in case. That was a weird graphic. Your head's pounding? E. Do you need to take a break? I guess a temporary break would be nice, but you know the best about your situation. Good luck. Right, I don't have that weapon. I'm guessing this is part of a level pack or something. Yeah, it has to be with how the opening section works. Complete with optional pickups, complete with the optional stage, bonuses, keys, what have you. Yes, thank you, game. I've fallen asleep to a Bob Ross stream. Hey, Snakey. Strange enough, this is actually one of the better stages I've seen in the most proper queue, but of course I had to dig through 3 pages to find it. Could this be better? Yes, but I would say this could fit in Mega Man 3 or 4. With a little bit of tweaking. Last day, no sweat. Language. Do not the school, Jaden. I won't elaborate. I'm sorry. Maybe the stream was age-gated. Alright then, I'm gonna check the server, see if there's anything else there. If not, well... let's see here... Okay, no more level submissions. I won't elaborate. Alrighty then, so overall, of the 10 levels I covered in today's morning stream, my favorite one would still be Mecha Viridian Forest by Sunflower Azumarill. No honorable mentions because, let's face it, most of the levels of this week were kind of, well, were pretty much meh. They may be, many of them may be enjoyable, but they're just rompy. I guess the closest thing to being an honorable mention would be Le Patio stage, Mega Man and Supernatural 4, Wily Haunted Castle 1, but that's just a... Wait. Mike did get one thing in, so I do want to show that. It's not going to be my favorite level or honorable mention, I know enough about that, so I'm going to quickly put this in. Final sneak peek by Mike Gamer. One play and fresh. Wait. I was going to do INARI, but Mike just spotted here, so I really want to do it because I may not be able to stream next week. Sorry for the interruption. But my point still stands. That's where I'll put everything. Yeah, let's make a school that actually teaches us sex ed. Sorry for pulling the rug under all of you, but I'm not sure if I'll be able to cover Maker next week, so this is now. Already has many similar features to the OG one, and I already remarked on the OG one being cool in terms of aesthetics and challenges. Regarding being a more novel intro stage, it's a long story. I'll be able to stream next week, don't worry, but with the number of levels being submitted, I may just skip out on Maker next week and just do a Let's Try instead. Heck, I may even decide to just cover Mega Man Agains instead. Or Mega Man Again. As much as I like Maker, I'm noticing more and more often that there are not that many levels to talk about, and most interesting stuff that happens is because of the discussions we have. Yep, I said Mega Man Again, the fan game. You know, the Mega Man 1 remake? The Mega Man 1 fan remake with a bunch of extra features. I could also cover Mega Man Beyond's latest demo. It could be Sunflora, but what I really feel is happening is that there's fewer people who are producing levels, and a lot of the common and uncommon tropes have already been utilized, and there's in general less interest. Not a bad thing, because no one could be interested forever. For example, myself, I've consistently played Maker for a lot longer than I expected. Heck, on the flip side, I thought the Skyforge would be a 200 episode LP series, but it didn't. Oh yeah, the Zealdak ROM hack. That's also... I almost forgot about that. I should cover that too. Oh. What's the name of it, Buster? Bye. Yeah, apparently there is Jedok. Yeah, it's literally Mega Man 1 with stuff from Mega Man Fortress 7. That's why I want to cover it. There are more wacky fan games I can cover, as well as even longer demos. Like, there is of course the latest demo of Mega Man Next Remix, but that's gonna take 6 hours, and a few of the puzzle stages are just too difficult for me. Because you know how bad I am with puzzles. One more. Come on. Thank you. We're out of here. It's as good as the original, maybe with some slight alterations I can't piece out. What I appreciate for this is that, unlike the vast majority of intro stage levels, which don't do a good job of introducing the core concepts or shared gimmicks, or just completely forgettable levels with a poor level design, this doesn't really opt for the former, but it is the easiest stage and does introduce a few things, and the actual level design is coherent. Mega Man Revamped, got it. Alrighty then, this does not change what I said before. My favorite level is still Mecha Viridian Forest by Sunforest and Rail, and no honorable mentions this week because most of the levels are meh. Regardless, I thank everyone who submitted a level to me this week, it's really appreciated.